Hey guys, Jordan here. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to sharpen your real estate photos. Now, before we talk about editing, I would want to talk a little bit about camera settings. Depending on what property you're shooting, right? Sometimes it does matter what aperture setting you're shooting at. I think default for real estate photography is f7.1 or f8 for most photographers. You can push it further. Your shutter speed is going to be slower, but you might be able to capture or have sharper mountains if they're way out in the distance. You might push it up to f11 or even f13. So I would start with camera settings depending on what your goal is or your end product, right? Let's transition over to the editing side of things. So what are some ways that you can make sharper images during the editing process? Now, there are several different sliders on the right side if you're using Lightroom or any other editing platform. Some things that you'll want to look at are contrast, clarity. There is a sharpening option as well as noise reduction. Texture is I believe is a newer one, and also dehaze is a newer slider they didn't have years ago. I can't remember in what version, but adjusting a lot of these sliders will impact your the sharpness and clarity of your real estate photos. Now, from my experience, we prefer, or here at Lister Pros, we prefer a more natural looking. We want it to look like it did when we shot there. We're not looking to do some artificial looking amounts of sharpening and clarity. And I think, I thought that looked good actually when I started shooting real estate photography. And I think when I started, we would be at like clarity 75% or something on the slider. And then over time, we're like, the product that we like delivering to our customers is more of that natural look. It seemed like at that time, which was way back in 2013, a lot of real estate photographers would go crazy on the clarity and the saturation and vibrance, trying to make the colors look as crazy as possible. And we got a lot of customers actually because they didn't like the look and feel of some other photographers. They like the more natural, and that's kind of how that's more the look and feel that we're going for. We want a potential buyer to show up to a property and not say, is this the same property that was in the pictures, because it looks nothing like it? No, we want them to show up and say, you know what? The photos was an accurate depiction of what the property actually looks like in person. And that's our goal. We're not trying to deceive anybody with our photography. And actually, sometimes we do get requests to do certain things, and we don't change any of like real things that aren't changeable about a specific property. So for example, here's one: power lines behind our property. Now, you're not going to be able to change that, so that's a bit of a deceptive thing that somebody might want to remove. But a potential buyer shows up, hey, there's a big power lines there, and it's not in the pictures. What the heck, So you want an accurate depiction of what it looks. Now, what can you do as a photographer if they don't want to highlight that there's power lines right behind the property? Well, you can showcase and focus on angles that don't show those type of things. Anyways, I'm getting a little bit off topic. This video is more about clarity, but it's more about accurate representation as well. So anyways, those are some settings that you can adjust in Lightroom to make for a more sharper, or even a softer, if you want a softer look, right? Clarity, contrast, dehaze, texture, the sharpening, noise reduction. Anyways, that is it for this video. If you're interested in learning more about the real estate photography business, you can check out my free workshop. The link is in the description below. If you got value out of this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing to our channel, as we consistently put out real estate photography related content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching. We will see you guys on the next one.